Hello, everybody. Now, I'm going to have to change this title. I'm just telling y'all because this thing then sat here and said I'm giving tips on saving money. And that is not what this video is about today, just so you all know. So I'm going to have to figure out, of course, everybody knows I am learning this YouTube thing. So I've purchased, of course, and gotten particular software and things, but I don't know how to do some stuff. So anyway, welcome to my channel. Definitely hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it. I'm going to say thank you in advance. Please share the video. But what I'm going to be talking about today is a little bit, I guess savings will be involved in it, but I'm really talking about, my microphone moving. Y'all see it? It's got a mind of its own. Sorry, y'all. Let's see. Okay. What I'm really talking about is I decided to currently reside in the Dallas, Texas area, and I moved from the Chicagoland area. So I'm going to talk about in this video, a lot of people are contemplating and thinking about moving, and it's so many different things that is stopping them, or they think it's going to stop them. So I am here today to tell y'all, don't let nothing stop you. It ain't going to be easy, but don't let nothing stop you. So I think I did a video about this already. Or I talked about it at the end of another video about like what made me decide to pack up and move. And I always kind of just tell people that it's so many different things. I've had people and I've heard people who have moved for all kinds of reasons. Sometimes they're trying to get away from a relationship that they know they don't have the strength to get out of if they don't, if they're in the same city. Some people lost their jobs, and you know they're looking for another job, and they they haven't been able to find one. Some people just want to get away from friends. And what is this on my eye? Sorry, y'all. Okay. Some people just want to get away from friends, and they just want a fresh start. I will tell you, if whatever real reason is, there are a few key things that you definitely need to do. You need to first make the decision whether or not you're really, really ready to move and leave where you're at. And that takes, for me, I suggest getting into some deep prayer, really evaluate the reasons why you're trying to leave. And a lot of times if they involve other people and you leaving because you want to, get away from somebody, you want to, especially if it's a relationship. I'm just being honest. If it's a relationship and you leaving because you trying to show him, oh, look, I can get up and leave and I can move out of the state, but you really ain't mentally ready to leave the relationship alone, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time and your money going through all that. And then as soon as he call, as soon as she call and say what you need them to say, you're going to be regretting that you moved. Don't do that. That is not the answer. You definitely need to make sure that you are ready to leave, because it is what is best for you, emotionally, financially. And, if you have children involved, you definitely want to, think about what's good for them. Now, I had a couple options. I was originally thinking about Arizona, and then Nevada. And at the time when I moved, I did have at the time, what was she, 6 years old, a 6-year-old. So, of course, for me, it was very important to know what the school system was like in the areas that I was considering. So, what I did was I looked up the school system in the three different areas, because it was Texas, it was Arizona, Phoenix area, it was Texas, Dallas area, and Nevada, Las Vegas, Henderson area. Well, y'all, just go say, school system then, I don't know now, I haven't checked recently, but in Nevada, that Las Vegas area, it is not what's going on. It's not what's happening. Now, Henderson was a little better, but compared to Arizona, and then compared to Dallas, the DFW area, especially if you were going in the suburbs, it didn't hold the torch to it. So it kind of eliminated the Dallas area for me. Eliminated it because, of course, I care about education. I cared about my daughter's education. So that was out the question. Then, Arizona, really nothing bad. That Phoenix area, I was looking at Mesa, actually. It wasn't even bad. I just really didn't know anybody there. So I chose the Dallas area because I knew a couple people, which were relatives. I think I suggest that too. I suggest if you can know at least one person, that would be good. But if not, because like I knew my cousins, but it ended up that wasn't how, who I really was around and who I established a support system and a relationship with. It really came from my coworkers, because now I would have been an entrepreneur for the 8 years prior to me deciding to move. Economy crashed, and you can't, as an entrepreneur, if ain't nobody working to be able to pay you. I was a cosmetologist. Then they ain't doing you no good, because they ain't got no jobs. They can't pay you to do no hair, because why they want their hair done if they ain't got nowhere to go? So for me, when I came to the Dallas area, I was like, well, I've been enjoying doing this. I really don't want to go. I had education to be able to go work in the school system. I could have went and worked at a law firm. I could have went and worked somewhere, as a accountant or a bookkeeper or something. I just didn't want to do none of that. I wanted to do what I had been doing, which was working for myself, and all of the skills that I had, I was putting them into my own business. And it was great until economy crashed. So when I came, I had to, I decided to find a job in a corporate beauty salon. And for me, that was a good suggestion. I suggest that to anybody, because I have so many people that I know and friends that have, of course, they've been cosmetologists for years and years and years. And of course, working in a salon, renting a booth for whatever. And I think, of course, it's up to the person, but I think it's a huge mistake if you don't already have a clientele in that new area to just move and set yourself up to be in a situation where you're paying booth rent or where you're paying suite rent and then trying to build up a clientele. You can have faith in your work and you're good. Just, I did too. But I also know that it takes time to build up a clientele. So as a financial person, it doesn't make sense to put yourself in a situation where you're going to be owing somebody before you're even making any money. So my suggestion is to do what I did, and that was to go in a corporate-owned salon, a place where basically they're going to pay you regardless because you're there, because they're going to require you be there a certain amount of time a day. They're going to feed you the clients, because when a client comes into a corporate-owned type of situation, they have a choice. But if whoever they're coming in for is not there, or they're busy and they really want to go ahead and get their hair done, then the business is going to pass them on to whoever's available, because of course the business don't care about their loyalty. The business trying to make that money. So in that type of situation, I feel it's better, because now you're at least you know, guaranteeing yourself some kind of money. They're feeding you the clients. You know, mine was like a superstore type of place. So while people were coming in there to shop, I was walking around, if I didn't have a client, you know, introducing myself, telling the people where I was from and that I'm looking to build my clientele. And I just did that and did that. And continue to build. And I think, and I didn't have the stress of having to pay somebody at the end of the week. They give you all your products. I had options of, you know, health insurance, and I had disability insurance and all that kind of stuff. And for me, in a new place where I'm in that type of industry, it just made the most sense. You know, it's up to the individual. I don't say work in a corporate salon and don't be looking to build your own, you know, independent business. Yes, you could do both while you're out, you know, but for me, even when I met people while I was out, I still had them coming to the corporate owned salon because, of course, where I was, it was mostly, you know, it was a white Caucasian area. So there weren't a lot of hairstylists at the time when I came like me with the skill set that I had. So it didn't, you know, really matter if I brought them in with me, because I could generally, you know, choose what pricing I wanted to charge them, because the services that I was giving, the business wasn't giving anyway. So I didn't feel as though, oh, them taking a percentage of what I earned, if that was messing me up. And then I explained to everybody, like, hey, I'm here. I'm probably gonna be here a year, maximum 2 years, while I build up and get myself and figure out what areas I want to be in, because that's what you should do. And then once I do that, I'm probably gonna be, you know, moving on and getting my own place, because I knew I was, you know, in my heart, I'm an entrepreneur. I am a person who works for herself. But do I believe in making the right decisions to not put yourself in such stressful situations is important? Yes. So as much as I knew I was a boss, I needed to be somebody's employee for a minute until I built up my boss status back to what it was in the new area. So I did that. And, you know, while doing that, I was living in one area, working in another. Had an opportunity to, you know, because I tell people, don't just, you know, it's my suggestion to not just move to a new place, especially like me, 1,000 miles away, go and sign to buy a house or something, and you don't even know if this is a good area. You don't even know if this is the area you're going to want to stay in. So I suggest renting. Um, the Dallas DFW area has some very nice places, that, of course, compared to Chicago, the pricing was great. I'll be honest with anybody who's considering the DFW area now. The pricing is a lot higher. It's not in the New York, LA price range, but it is not as low as it was, you know, 10, 11 years ago before I came here. But doing that and kind of living in one area, working in another, I lived, you know, closer to the family members who I knew. And I worked in a more upscale, if you heard of the area, it's called Plano, West Plano, Texas. At that time, it was labeled as the most affluent city in the country. So that is where I worked, because, of course, that made sense. If you're going to set yourself up to get hair clients in a corporate owned salon, where would you want to go? To the place where they're saying they're making the most money, because what will that mean for you? You will probably make a good amount of money. So, you know, I thought of those things. I'm doing this video because hopefully, you know, these are things that's going to help you or anybody who watches, you know, determine what they should want to do and how they should do in regards to planning to relocate. So I did that. I built a great family at my job. I built a good clientele, up to maybe after about 8 months, I had probably done about 50 different clients. And then unfortunately, after the eighth month, my mom moved to where I was here in Texas, and she got sick. And so in her getting sick, and me needing to do what I needed to do and be there for her and back and forth, you know, it came to a point after I've been at the job for exactly a year, where it was going to make more sense. I was going to have to walk away, because even though I'm a boss, I believe in being the type of employee that I would want. So I did not want to be somewhere working for them and have to be calling off and all these other things because I needed to take my mother to the doctor and stuff like that. So I made the decision to speak with one of my coworkers who had actually just left the salon, and she was opening her own salon suite across the street from where our main salon was. And I asked, hey, can I come and share that with you? Of course, for her, it was going to lower her costs, and for me, based on the client base that I had and the book that I had, I was definitely coming with about 30 to 40 clients, and not having to take them out of the environment kind of ensured that they would still come to me. And of the 40 or so clients, I'd say 30 did end up coming. It was right across the street. But 30 at an average service of no less than, $50, and you're doing it every other week. Hey, that was what, $3,000-$4,000. And then I was still constantly marketing. And my suite rent, I want to say our suite rent at the time was like $200. So we were paying $100 a week a piece. That was a great situation. I was able to then go and be what I needed to be for my mom. And I just, did what I'm used to doing, getting my hustle on. But at least I wasn't getting my hustle on from 0. I was getting it on from 30. Well, initially 40 people. So, I continued to work and work and work and look out for mom. And then unfortunately, mom passed away. And maybe, was it 2? Yeah, it was 2 months after I decided to leave. My mother was an entrepreneur. Everything that I know and am is what, how she taught me, my personality and everything. And she's just a hard worker. So I knew she would not want me to not push and continue on after she passed away, especially as an entrepreneur. So, I did that. I, by that point, was figuring out that the area that I was living in, which was called Irving, Las Colinas area, it wasn't making sense for me to be driving, because it was like 30-40 minutes. Hey, I'll tell y'all this. You'll hear Texas does not have any state taxes, and they don't. But because everything used to be so rural less than 15 years ago, mostly all the highways to get somewhere is a lot of toll roads. So if you think you ain't paying those income taxes, but you got to drive and you live 30-45 minutes away from where you work, the cost of getting on the toll road, from my experience and a lot of people, clients and stuff that I have experienced, that is more than you were paying in state income taxes from states that have state taxes. I know for me, weekly going to work, I think I was working about 4 days a week and had to get on the toll. I was spending about $280-$300 a month on tolls. So you multiply that times 12. What's that, y'all? $3,600. Look at your W-2 or your paycheck and see if you paying that much in state taxes. So, of course, being a money person and a numbers person, I knew, hey, I got to get the heck from living over here. Not only that, it wasn't even, all that. The area I worked in was better. Anyway, all I had to do was search for something that I can afford. And so after about 3 years over in that area and wasting all that money on tolls and having them sending me pink letters and all this stuff, I went on and relocated over into the Plano area. And it was the best decision, for one, because I saved on tolls. For two, school system was much better than the urban area that I was in. It was supposed to be a good area, but the school district was still Irving ISD or whatever. And I'm just being honest, it's not really a good school district. And so I, being so about education, I didn't have my daughter going there. I was finding a charter school and, just other stuff. It was hard because then I was having to do a whole lot more just to make sure that she got in a better school. So I'm going to tell you, if you're thinking about the Dallas DFW area, economy-wise, opportunity-wise, it is a thumbs up. The place to be. Dating, you better bring you somebody. Hopefully you're married or you got a significant other. This is for women. Men, perfect place for you to come single. At last I checked, it's like 9 women to every man here. And then women, my experience, a lot of these men think you're going to take care of them. So just be prepared. For me, I don't choose places based on social life and social experience. I choose based on what's best for me and my child and business and things like that. So that's the reason why I didn't up and turn around and run back to Chicago, because Chicago socially was way better for me than this DFW area. So just want to give you that heads up too. If you're considering, DFW, Dallas area. I always like to explain to people, we are 4 hours north of Houston. So we are not by the water. We generally don't experience hurricanes, but God is God. He can make anything happen anywhere. But the norm, we generally experience tornadoes. We even had, as a matter of fact, we had one yesterday that actually ran through Dallas. I'm north of that area, more rural, but of course that's more of a chance, but y'all just look, I'm here filming today because we had hail and wind and I lost power, but God is good, and so that was really it. But there were some people whose homes were devastated, and so definitely pray for them. But just wanted to make sure. So where we're at, if you're not sure, I looked on the map too, but you can look on the map. We're in the northern part of Texas. So we're only like an hour and a half from Oklahoma City, or 2 hours. We're close to Tulsa. We're, as far as like where I live, I'm literally only like 30 minutes from the state line of Oklahoma. We're not too far. We're about 2.5 hours before you enter into the state of Louisiana as well. So we're northeastern part of Texas, okay? Don't think you just, because people like, I'll move to Texas. And it's like so many places in Texas to live. This area I'm in is Dallas, Fort Worth area. Then you have Houston, which is down by the Gulf. Then you have West Texas, if you've heard of Lubbock and Midland. Those areas, that area has really grown as well. It's doing really well. It's more oil jobs out that way. They're building that area up. And I think then you have Austin and you have San Antonio, which are also still good places. Austin now, so if you just give y'all kind of a map. So I said Dallas, we're up in the top. Between us, after us, if you're traveling south, you're going to hit Austin. And then after you hit Austin, if you keep traveling south, you're going to hit San Antonio. And then if you leave San Antonio and you keep traveling south, you're going to be traveling south, a little southeast, you will hit Houston. So that's kind of how it goes. The other place, Midland, Lubbock, we just have to start from where we at and drive straight across west. And that is, like, for me, it's about 8 hours. San Antonio, just say Austin is about 2:45, 3 hours. San Antonio is about 3:45, 3.5 hours. And then Houston is about 4 hours. And that reason is because San Antonio is southwest and Houston is directly south of us in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So I hope that helps people, because I be hating when I hear people like, yeah, she moved to Texas too. And then they be like, so where you at? And then you mention everybody who you don't live here thinks Texas is just one place. And kind of like, I guess in Illinois, when you say you from Illinois, and most people say they from Chicago, because Illinois don't really have any more big cities. Like Texas has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big areas that are known. So I think people just kind of think like, oh, we right by each other. No, we're not right by each other. So you have to choose. And then we're actually in Dallas. And to get to Fort Worth, you still could be driving about 30, 40 minutes, but they're right closer to each other. So that's why it's called the DFW, which is Dallas, Fort Worth. But all of them are great places with great economy. If you want to know, just say Dallas, Fort Worth area, you're going to have a mixture of cultures. You're going to see a lot of people, you'll see people look like me. Houston, same kind of thing. That San Antonio was more Hispanics. It's us, it's black folks. It's all different races, but it's more Hispanics. Austin is kind of a mixture too. I'm not sure if it's a lot more, as many black people in Austin area as it is in Dallas. area or Houston. Matter of fact, I know it's probably not. And then that Midland, Lubbock, I think it's, you know, from, because the co-worker or the person that I shared the suite with, that's where she's from. And that's where she relocated back to. And she did tell me it's not a lot. Where at that time, it wasn't a lot of black people. I'm sure it's more or whatever. And she was a Caucasian girl. So, you know, my sister is what I call her. But so that's just trying to give you guys some tips. First thing, you know, all this don't matter until you truly decide that moving and relocating is something that you want to do. And if you're thinking about the Dallas area or the tech in Texas, that is why I shared this video. But don't pack up and move if you really not ready. Running away from your problems and thinking that going somewhere else is going to solve them, it ain't going to happen. You going to have the same problems because you are the same person. If it's something that is within you that's causing the issue, then going to a different state or a different city is not going to solve it. You're going to need to sit down and figure out what you need to do. If that means getting some coaching, getting some therapy, or whatever it may be that you may need to get you in order so that you're not carrying the same trash to a new place and having the same issue, then that's what you need to do, okay? I always say it's a house song. My house heads from Chicago, you know, a song called You Can't Hide From Yourself. Everywhere you go, there you are. I never thought about that song when I was singing it when I was a teenager, but now listening and thinking about it and knowing people who have lived in 5 different cities and states in the past 10 years and they still, you know, miserable and not, you know, are unhappy, I realize it's because of you know, it's not the place, it's the person. So we have to make sure that we're getting ourselves together before we just pack up and carry our filth and carry our issues to another place. It's funny, and I like to, you know, share this, but I'm, you know, growing up on the south side of Chicago, you know, growing up impoverished, and being an educated person where your mama forced you to go to school, it kind of it separates you a little bit, but you be a mixture because you got to survive in one area, but you know how to survive in another area. And so it kind of made me, I use the term for myself, a black unicorn. And it kind of made me a black unicorn, which means that as much as I was still socially fine, I knew a lot more academically, and I always just said I had a white collar mind, always. And it was, you know, it's like you tell yourself that, okay, I'm doing things I'm doing this because this is the things that I need to do to survive. But what I can say is this: no matter if that's the case, no matter if you have good intentions behind why you're doing some of the things that you're doing, if they're not right, if what you're doing is not right, if it's not built on the foundation of good, you generally are going to be starting here, experience some great things. Next thing you know, you're right back here because you built something on an unstable, dirty foundation. So I will be honest and say that is a big part of why I relocated, because I was ready mentally to do things different, and to use my powers for good instead of the ways that a lot of other ways I was using them. So I was ready though, you know, and when I came, I promised myself that I was not going to do things. Goodness. I'm sorry, y'all. Of course, clients. Just transfer. I'm sorry. I apologize, y'all. Just transfer your income. Okay, I'm sorry. So anyway, I was honestly ready to do different, be different. And just like I'm saying, if you're not ready, ain't no need to move. I came here and I was committed to doing the right thing. And even when, sometimes, I call it temptation, and I got the offer of, y'all, I'm about to have to end. Okay. 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 I honestly would be like, nope, I'm sorry. Nope. I wouldn't answer, different things like that, because I was committed to doing what I said I wanted to do and why I was moving. So it wasn't easy. I'm not going to say that, but what I can say is that it has been proven. God has proven to me that by me committing to Him and keeping the commitment to myself to do things in the way that I know was right. I have my life. Excuse me. I actually have people come because I have a nonprofit, and I have a big celebration of life cancer event every year. And I have people come in there and they say every year, like, oh my God, every year I come here, you're doing better and better. And I attest that to being committed to doing the right thing and being committed to honoring my word to God, and, and being a positive person and just attracting positivity. Attracting positivity to me. So I guess, and I'm not gonna lie, it's been still like always, because I believe that the only way that you're gonna appreciate God's goodness is if at times He does, send you through hard times. That way you'll make sure you remember to call on Him and thank Him when all the time. So not just thank Him when He do something, So when I'm going through trials or tribulations, I know I'm gonna get pulled through them, because I know I'm working hard daily to remain being a good person and to be helpful to others, which is why I'm doing this video in my YouTube channel. So I'm going to go ahead in the end. I'm going to go and have to go in and change the title and all this stuff. I'm going to figure all this stuff out so that next time when it goes live, it don't put no wrong information. Okay, so I hope I helped somebody. I hope I inspired somebody. And was real with you, because that's the purpose. Don't get up and be trying to run away just because you're trying to run away and you ain't really ready to leave. You just ready to leave some people or some problems. That's not the reason. You got to be totally ready on the inside, and it won't matter either way if them people there or not. And if you just want to be in a better environment, better climate, like for me, I'm glad I don't have to deal with no 670 feet of snow no more. Is it that high? Yeah, probably don't be that high. But however, no whole bunch of snow and blizzards and all that I had to deal with in Chicago. I love the weather too. Want to know about the weather? Cold as it gets, it does get sometime down in the 20s. That generally does not happen to sometime in January, February. It don't last long either, y'all. So don't get worried. We don't really have snow. If you have ice or something, it rains and it freezes, everything shuts down. They don't use salt on the road. They wait for the sun to come up and melt it. What else? So you get off work, because they get off work, they close the world if it's some ice or something on the road, which is good because they don't know how to take care of the roads. Oh, and something else. Y'all, these people down here can't drive. So I'm just going to tell you. And I tell people this all the time. The only time I'm stressed out is when I have to drive further than 15 minutes from my house. Because these people can't drive. So you just got to pray for patience. And it's usually a little more, I'm a lot less stressed because I'm somewhere where I don't have a whole lot of people pulling me in different directions. So I can handle it a little better. But sometimes, especially because so many people moving here and it just be traffic and they don't know how to drive. And I mean, I think Texas has almost 3 times the amount of accidents a year as Illinois. These people horrible. They don't know how to drive. So I'm just to tell y'all, make sure you don't try to come down here and don't have no car insurance, because they bad. And it is frustrating. So you got to pray every time before you get in the car that you stay at peace. Okay? So again, thank you guys. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. If you're subscribed to my channel, I want to thank you for being a subscriber. And I want to ask you all to please share. As the goal of this channel is to spread positivity, to spread knowledge, and to what is the word I'm trying to use? Inspire growth. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about all kinds of things. I talk about all kinds of things, but the goal in the end is for somebody to learn something from what I'm talking about and keep it in a positive way. All right, have a good day, everybody, and thanks for watching.